Hello everybody, this is another Hot Wheels Collector video. Today I'm going to be showcasing and reacting to the Hot Wheels Car Culture 2023 HW Off-Road set. This is a brand new premium set which will be hitting stores in about a month's time or so keep your eyes open for this set. It's got some really cool cars in here, so stay tuned for all that. But before we do that, I must shout out Ministry of Diecast for this footage. Without this footage, my video would not be possible at all, and I cannot thank them enough. Make sure to check out the original video as well as Ministry of Diecast's channel. Both of those links will be in the description as well as in the pinned comment of this video. The original video also does have some extra footage which I'm not going to be including in my video. But anyways, that is it for the intro. Now let's move on to the actual showcase and reaction to this thing. Alright, so the first car in this mix is the 2005 Toyota Land Cruiser PRADO. This is a brand new casting for 2023, and this casting first debuts in this mix of car culture, and what a fantastic way to debut this casting. I love everything about it, from the colour choice to the tamper work and even the wheel choice. It all just looks superb. Of course, the Hot Wheels team are going for an off-road vibe with this thing, and that is exactly the message that this car portrays. What a fantastic look this thing has. I will mention that this car is rolling on the black off-road 8-hole B-Lock Real Riders, which first debuted in 2019. I will also mention that this car is being painted in metallic silver, and this car also does receive side, front, rear, and also top tampo, and has a mainly stock look to it. I will also mention that this car does have a matte black metal base, and also does have black interior plastic. And finally, I'll mention that this casting does have wing mirrors, but unfortunately does not have any windshield wipers. Next up, we do have the 2018 Toyota 4Runner. This is a new recolor of this casting. It's not a new casting, simply just a new recolor, but it does look pretty decent. This car is rolling on the black off-road 6-spoke Real Riders, which I couldn't find a date on, so I'm guessing these are new for 2023, but somebody can definitely let us know in the comments section below. I'll also mention this car is being painted in glossy, light and slightly washed out blue, and I will also mention that this car does have side tampo, rear tampo, front tampo and also top tampo, and has a completely stock look to it. I will also mention that this car does have a matte black metal base, and I will also mention that this car does have black interior plastic, and finally I'll mention that this car does have wing mirrors and also windshield wipers. That's great to see that this casting does have both of those details. Very nice to see there for sure. Alright, and the next car in this mix is the 1993 Mercedes-Benz G-Class. This is simply just a new recolor of this car. It is not a new casting. This recolor is really solid though, and I know a lot of people find this car to be the best car out of this mix, and I honestly can't disagree with them on that. It's a really nice one indeed. I will mention that this car is rolling on the black moulded off-road 8-hole beadlock Real Riders with a chrome lip this time, and these wheels did debut in 2019. I'll also mention that this car is being painted in glossy black and also does receive side, front and rear tampo, but no top tampo work, and this car does have an IWC livery. I will also mention that this car does have a matte black painted metal base, and I will also mention that this car does have a black interior in the form of black interior plastic, and finally I'll mention that this casting does have wing mirrors and also does have windshield wipers. Very nice to see indeed. Next up, we do have the big Air Bel Air. This is not a new casting. We've seen it released plenty of times in the mainline prior to this release, but this is a new casting to the premium lineup. It's great to see it here where it will receive the proper tampo treatment, which it does deserve, and this car is being done in a fantastic way. I love the look of this thing. It really has pleasantly surprised me. I'll mention that this car is rolling on the grey off-road 8-hole beadlock Real Riders, which first debuted in 2019. I will also mention that this car is being painted in this glossy, weird turquoise-esque colour. That's all I can really describe it as. I'll also mention that this car does have side, top, front and rear tampo work. It's really got a lot of detail here in terms of tampo work. You definitely do get your money's worth with it. It is done in a pretty stock look, even though the casting is a heavily modified 1956 Bel Air. I'll also mention that this car does have a Zamac finished metal base and also does have blue interior plastic similar to that of the body of the car. And finally, I'll mention that this car does not have any wing mirrors or any windshield wipers. It doesn't even have a windshield, but it's totally fine to not see both of those details there, as on the modified version that the Hot Wheels team have come up with, it doesn't have them either, so there you go. Whew, sorry guys, I've ran over into the next clip. There was just so much to talk about around that big Air Bel Air. But anyways, the next car and the final car in this mix is the Range Rover Classic. Now this car is also new to the premium lineup, but it's not a new casting, but it's great to see this car here nonetheless, where it will receive the proper tampo treatment, which it does deserve, and I personally am a big fan of this release. I think it looks really awesome. I will mention that this car is rolling on the grey moulded 10-spoke beadlock reel riders, which first debuted in 2022. I will also mention that this car has been painted in glossy yellow and also does receive side, front, rear and top tampo, so there's tons of tampo work on this thing and you definitely do get your money's worth for this one. It's great to see so much detail being put onto this premium car. That's kind of why we buy these things, for the extra level of detail. So yeah, great to see all this detail in terms of tampo work on this thing. And most of this tampo work is in the form of a Range Rover Classic off-road livery. I will also mention this car does have a matte black painted metal base. And I will also mention that the interior plastic of this car is done in black. And finally, I'll mention that this casting does have wing mirrors and also windshield wipers. It's awesome to see that extra level of detail in this casting. It just makes this casting look a lot more realistic in my opinion, and also makes this casting a lot more worth your money and also a lot more complete. So it's all around just a great thing to see, wing mirrors and also windshield wipers on this casting, as well as some of the other castings featuring in this mix as well, which I've already talked about. But anyways, that is it for this mix. What a fantastic selection of off-road vehicles. I know anybody who's a big fan of off-roaders will love this set. It's jam-packed with off-road goodies, and honestly, I personally like pretty much all the cars here. It's got one really nice new casting for this mix, which I know a lot of the off-road community have been asking for. 2 new to premium cars and 2 new recolors of cars which have already been in the premium line, but these recolors are pretty cool nonetheless too. That does lead me nicely onto my ranking for this mix. So what is my least favourite car here, and what is my most favourite car, and what are the cars in between? So my 5th place car is going to be the 2018 Toyota 4Runner. I'm just not a big fan of the colour on that thing, and I also don't think the casting sits quite right. I think it's a bit too tall, but yeah, I'm just not a big fan of that thing. Next up, in 4th place is going to be the Range Rover Classic. Now, by the way, from 4th place onwards, I love all of the cars. I think they're all really solid. But yeah, 4th place is going to be the Range Rover Classic. There's nothing bad about it. I just had to give some car 4th place, and that is, you know, my least favourite out of these 4. But it was really, really close and hard to pick, to be honest. And my 3rd place is going to be going to the big Air Bel Air. I love what they've done with this thing, with a very stock looking tampo work and detailing and paint job, but it's got this really modified look in terms of the casting. It's a really nice contrast and it's super awesome to look at. I'm a big fan of that release. I actually personally didn't like the look of it when we were looking at pictures of them before they were actually shown to us properly, but yeah, when I've seen it properly, this thing just looks fantastic. I'm a big fan of this. It's definitely my favourite release of this casting to date, by far. It's just so lovely looking. And that does lead me on to my 2nd place. So my 2nd place is going to the 1993 Mercedes-Benz G-Class. It's another solid one. I love the look of this thing. I like it more after seeing it in a detailed showcase, much like the big Air Bel Air. But yeah, it looks fantastic. I love the colour, I love the wheel choice. I can't complain one bit about that thing. And finally, my 1st place is going to the new casting for this mix, the 2005 Toyota Land Cruiser PRADO. What a stunning casting. I wasn't expecting to see this casting pop up in the Hot Wheels lineup, but it's awesome to see it here, and it's definitely a welcome addition to the Hot Wheels line. What a beautiful release of this thing as well. I love the colour, I love the tampo work, I love the wheel choice. It's just superbly done. The only complaint which I do have about this thing is the fact that it doesn't have any windshield wipers featuring in the windshield of this car. Of course, the windshield is created through see-through plastic, but yeah, it would have been nice to have seen that detailing there. Other than that, it would have been a 10 out of 10 car from me. I love that thing. It's been executed fantastically in my opinion. But anyways, that is it for my ranking of these cars. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments section down below. I really do want to hear your thoughts on this mix. But anyways, that does lead me onto my score out of 10 for this mix. So what am I going to give this mix out of 10? It is going to be receiving a very well deserved 8.5 out of 10. I went into this mix not expecting much. I didn't really like it from pictures that I'd seen, but now after seeing a proper showcase from Ministry of Diecast, I'm really impressed with this mix. It is a super solid mix, way more solid than I initially expected, and I'm really pleasantly surprised, as you can probably tell. Really nice set of cars. Yeah, I can't complain at all. Just awesome. But anyways, that does wrap up this video. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Remember, you can also press that notification bell so you do not miss any new uploads. Remember, you can also share this video with any friends, family, or any groups who may be interested. But remember, don't feel pressured if you don't feel like you have anybody who may be interested. You watching this video all the way to the end means so much to me, and I really do thank you for making it all the way up until this point. But anyways, that is it for this video. So I hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye, everyone.